Welcome to IHIP News, where we share our opinion about the news that is important to us. And as we are closing out these final days and hours of the election, the split screen is jarring.
Yes.
On the one hand, you have Donald Trump, who is either confused, standing, listening to music, which a lot of dementia patients find comfort and kind of bobbling around to music, or he's talking about rounding up immigrants or turning the military against people that don't support him politically. So again, I want to emphasize, he wants to turn the United States military on its own citizens. And here's how Kamala handles that.
So here tonight, I will show you one example of Donald Trump's worldview and intentions. Please roll the clip.
The worst people are the enemies from within.
The enemy from within. Those people are more dangerous, the enemy from within, than Russia and China.
These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices. Now, if you had one really violent day, one rough hour, and I mean real rough.
I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
So you heard his words. You heard his words coming from him. He's talking about the enemy within Pennsylvania. He's talking about the enemy within our country, Pennsylvania. He's talking about that he considers anyone who doesn't support him or who will not bend to his will an enemy of our country. It's a serious issue. He is saying that he would use the military to go after them. Think about this. And we know who he would target. And we know who he would target because he has attacked them before. Journalists whose stories he doesn't like. Election officials who refuse to cheat by filling extra votes and finding extra votes for him. Judges who insist on following the law instead of bending to his will. This is among the reasons I believe so strongly that a second Trump term would be a huge risk for America and dangerous.
First and foremost, roll the clip.
I loved it.
Love it. Secondly, she's pointing out exactly what a Nazi Trump is by using Trump's own words, and then following up with how dangerous this is. And it's literally the post-constitutional America that Project 2025 is written out, that Trump tries to distance himself from. But because he's so senile right now, his default setting is he can't move to the center like a crafty politician could, like J.D. Vance attempts to do right now, like J.D. Vance attempted to do in the vice presidential debate. He's so senile and so, I believe, medicated on something, the slurred speech and all of that, that all the Hitler-style language, it just rolls right out. This man is a full-blown fascist who wants to turn the military on Americans. And we already knew this because when he pranced across the park in front of the White House to hold up a Bible, he asked the people in his cabinet if he could use the military to clear it out.
He actually asked his defense secretary, could he shoot him in the legs?
Mm-hmm.
And he held the Bible upside down, but that's here nor there. One thing that really, when I saw Trump saying about people that criticize judges should go to jail, are you fucking kidding me? He has attacked every single judge except the one in Florida. He has attacked judges' daughters, their wives, court staff. Anything he doesn't like, he attacks. And I was really struck by all of the Republicans, specifically Glenn Youngkin from Virginia, that tore himself into a knot to try to say, oh, well, he was talking about immigrants. No, he said Adam Schiff's name. That's who he said. And they have debased themselves to such a degree that they will lie about what they're seeing and hearing for favor with this person. It is unbelievable and uniquely disqualifying for every Republican that is not calling this out, in my opinion.
Couldn't agree more. Let me show you while Kamala is drawing the stark contrast, because we can't even really talk about policy because Donald Trump wants to just have a personal goon squad and go full-blown Hitler in the United States of America, less than 100 years from World War II. But here's when he's not bobbing around like a little bobber with music for 30 minutes on stage with Kristi Noem trying to like, hey, Grandpa, do you want to hear the music? When he's not doing that, he's doing interviews, and here's how he answers questions. Roll the clip.
Should Google be broken up?
I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
The question is about Google, President Trump.
So here he is, asked about Google, a serious question that any politician should be able to readily answer. And he goes into the grievances about, judges and court cases and votes and all of this paranoid, delusional stuff. Fox News, I can't even bring myself to play the clips on this channel, but both Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity said, oh, while the left was melting down because Donald Trump was dancing to music at one of his rallies, then he comes out and brilliantly gives an interview with a Bloomberg Economist reporter, and it's beyond sane washing. It's a stain, an absolute stain on journalism, and it is so divorced from any form of honesty and decency, and I cannot believe the permission structures that Fox News provides for people that know better, but they like it. They like that red meat. They like that cruelty. It's satisfying, it's juicy, and they turn on Fox News so they can find a permission structure to get around it. All right, listener, Pumps and I are so obsessed with our newest trinket. It's called Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath.
I had no idea that metabolism is your body's engine.
That's right, Pumps. It's how your body turns the food you eat into the fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc. Lumen even gives you recommendations on how to improve your metabolic health. You can track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause. Listener, if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/IHIP to get 15% off your Lumen. That's LUMEN.me/IHIP for 15% off your purchase. We'd like to thank Lumen for sponsoring this episode.
Okay, here's the deal. When Trump's calling out Kamala Harris for not doing real interviews, I mean, we've seen what Trump does with even just a slight bit of pushback. Kamala Harris has gone on 60 Minutes. Trump's advisors won't let him go. She's gone on podcasts. He's gone on bro podcasts, and he makes no sense. The Sean Hannity and the Laura Ingrahams, we know what they say in private because of the January 6th committee. We've seen their texts. They think he's a nut. But they like the cruelty and they like the ratings, and it is an abomination.
When you brought up the governor of Virginia earlier, if you hook him up to truth serum and a polygraph, he would say he he thinks Donald Trump is a nut. And it's so gross that we have to applaud normal behavior like Liz Cheney. Oh, good for you, Liz. You're calling out a criminal.
Right.
And we have to be like, so, oh, wow, she's got such a backbone. That's how far we've fallen that we have to applaud normal behavior. It reminds me when our kids were little and one of our husbands would say, I watch the kids. And it's like, I'm not going to have a parade down the street for you for doing just the basic minimum. And so it's gross. This man is severely unhinged, surrounded by completely dangerous sociopaths, because the far-right neocons that surrounded him previously, who I disagree with everything policy-wise with these people, they will not endorse him.
Right.
And they're voting for Kamala Harris, and they're on the record for doing it. But one of our favorite subjects is, of course, the unfuckable Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz is over down in Texas fighting for his life against a really good candidate.
Really good.
Colin Allred. And I'm surprised somebody didn't call 911 after this clip that I'm about to play for you. Kylie, roll the clip.
Senator, that's your time. Congressman, 90 seconds for a response.
Well, listen, it's time to finally tell the truth here. Senator Cruz just looked into a camera and lied to Texans about my position. Let's be very clear. You should look into the camera and speak to Kate Cox, who's watching right now, and explain to her why you said that this law that you said is perfectly reasonable, why she was forced to leave her 2 children behind and flee our state to get the care that she needed. Or look into the camera and talk to Amanda Zarowski, who's watching right now, and explain to her why it's perfectly reasonable that because she had a complication in her pregnancy and was denied care so long that she may never be able to have children of her own. Or to the 26,000 Texas women who've been forced to give birth to their rapist child under this law that you called perfectly reasonable. It's not. This is not freedom. I trust Texas women to make their own healthcare decisions. You know, Allie and I have had 2 baby boys here in Dallas in the last 5 years. You're scared the entire time. You don't know what they're going to say. But I can't imagine if the doctor would come in, said there's a problem with the baby or a problem with Allie, but there's nothing I can do because Ted Cruz thinks he knows better. That's not who we are as Texans. When I'm in the United States Senate, we'll restore a woman's right to choose. We'll make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again. And we'll make these stories of seeing these horrific experiences going on all over our state something of the past. That's my commitment to Texans.
I mean, that was a total body slam.
Yeah, Ted Cruz, Mr. Ivy League education, going to Cancun, my friends don't like me. He got slayed. And the thing is, Colin Allred is right. He's on the right side of this moral issue. Ted Cruz has proven himself to be the most amoral, unethical, could not give a flying fuck about Texans of any senator that I've seen other than like a Mitch McConnell who's just about power. It's unbelievable.
That's gracious of you to call him amoral, because I would like to correct the record and call him immoral. I don't have such grace as my co-host when it pertains to Ted Cruz and the sociopathic policies that he wants to put in place for women and the excuses he makes for violent criminals that beat people up on January 6th, and how he demonizes every chance he can get the Black and brown community. That man is a stain on Texas, a stain on America. He is the grossest person imaginable. There's nothing manly. And I don't give a shit about all that stuff, but on the right, they give a shit about all this manly stuff. If somebody demeans the mother of your children and then you shout to them, I love you, at the RNC, that is the most grotesque form of not even a subhuman behavior. It's incomprehensible that people see these people and want to vote for them and think, yeah, this represents me. And I think that people are showing us left and right all throughout this country. Either you're in a cult and you don't have critical thinking skills to get on Facebook or read the news and discern what's real or not, and you don't give a shit about that, or you know better, and you're a silent Trump supporter, and at your core, you're a racist, homophobic, white supremacist, and you don't want to give up the power structures that new generations of women, of LGBTQIA plus people, Black and brown people, of globalization and trying to make a better place where we share information with other countries and cures for diseases and fair trade practices. You want to keep it just patriarchal white shit. And you're showing us exactly what you want, exactly who you are. I'm not a religious person, but most of these people tend to be crazy religious nuts as well. So I just think that's an interesting tidbit.
The only thing I would point out is I've been thinking a lot lately. All of these people that run around saying they're alpha males, they're masculine, to your point, they are the ones that Donald Trump attacks their wives, attacks their family members, and they still bend the knee. It's unbelievable. Like, this is your idea of an alpha male, to debase yourself to kiss his fat ass? It's unbelievable.
All right, that's all we have for today. We would like to dedicate our episode to our beloved Javier Morales Jr. We miss you every single day, and we're in here taking care of business as you would want us to, and we'll see you guys later.
It's so entertaining. Tap the vein. So